Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. You know, I like to talk also a little bit about things you can do with your money, which is looking at some great books out there to read. And we've got another one we're going to talk about, thanks to our friends over there at Outskirts Press. And we have Joshua Frindley with us. He's the author of a book called Finally Alive. And delighted to have you on the program. Joshua, welcome.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure and a great opportunity.
Yeah, you bet. First of all, tell us a little bit about your personal story before we get into the book.
Okay. My personal story is that, I, as about 12, 14, just started thinking that, I knew everything, just kind of like, everybody thinks they do. And it wasn't until around 25 to about 30, I started realizing that, everything that everybody was telling me was right. I couldn't figure out why all my stuff in my life was going downhill. And it was because they had experience and I didn't. And it took a lot of pain and a lot of mistakes to get to where I'm at today.
Okay. So kind of give us some examples of the indicators of where everything was wrong in your life, as you put it.
Okay. For one, started drinking. And at a young age and using, and that took me down the wrong path. First of all, and that was my main thing from high school all the way up until about 27 years old. And I hit my bottom. I couldn't do it anymore. Everything I would be getting in trouble with the law. I would get in trouble with, lying to everybody. There's just something was missing, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah. So up to that point, you heard a lot from authority figures like your parents, but didn't get much from them. What was it about the authority figures that didn't resonate with you, that didn't, leave a strong impression?
It left a strong impression now that I look back at it, but at the time, it was all about what I wanted, and I was the center of the universe. Not knowing that, that's the way my mind was thinking, and that's the way that I perceived everything, was like everything's around me. And if I didn't get in my way, then I would have a bad day, or, I would make everybody else around me miserable.
Mm-hmm. So you decided to do things differently. What did that look like?
It looks like when I hit this so-called floor or a bottom, and I was looking for a way out, and I was trying to figure out what this hole inside of me was, and it turned out to be that it was a spiritual thing. The divine intervention really woke me up, and I got to come to realize that everything that my parents or teachers or everybody that said was right. It's amazing how my mom and dad and teachers and everybody got smarter as I got older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is funny how that works. Talk a little bit about how your life began to improve once you started taking your advice.
When I started, my life started improving instantly. Once I gave my life to Christ, it just started to shoot straight up. The lying was stopped. The job, entrepreneur, I mean, 3 businesses now. That wouldn't be possible. So it really stopped on a dime and just took off. I couldn't wake up the next morning and deny that something was different, because there was no denying it. I had my own business, and somehow I ended up writing this book, which is kind of interesting because it came out of me just journaling, and being not conscious of it. And then all of a sudden, my Uncle Todd Robeson came up to me and he read some of it. He was like, "You got more?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, why don't you try to publish it?"
Cool.
So that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, the book is called Finally Alive by Joshua Frindley. Talk a little bit about the book. It's relatively short. I like that. It looks like it's a quick read with a heavy message. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, definitely. If the book for me, when I was starting to put it together and everything like that, it hit me that if I could just touch somebody, one person, I want it to sell, yes, obviously, but if it can just touch one person that's going through the same situations that I've been through and that can relate and can give them a little bit of perspective on how I felt inside, how I felt after I realized what I was doing wrong, taking responsibility for myself, and actually stop lying to myself about what life really was. And it's the book's really about me coming to. And I say I'm finally alive because I've been alive all my life, but I guess I just was living.
Mm-hmm.
Today I wake up and nature, everything just seems it's so bright to me and everything today. And I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for me going from the bottom and starting my way back up.
Yeah, you mentioned alcoholism. Is 12 Steps part of your work to live?
I'm in the program. Really, I just like to keep it with God, because that's the center of my basis or my beliefs are, when I gave my life to Christ, that's when everything stopped. I've not had a drink in 5 years, and no desire to. So the recovery aspect of it is that, that God will do for me what I can't do for myself as long as I'm willing and able to ask.
Yeah. I guess willingness is about the most important thing, isn't it?
It is. And willingness without action is dead, that I've come to realize, because I've made a decision to change a lot of times, but I never got off the couch to do it. It's that insertive action, saying that I'm willing to do it and then actually picking my feet up and actually going through the stuff that I don't want to do, but still doing it anyways. And in the end, I kind of found out that it wasn't that bad, and I kind of liked it.
So ultimately, what was your objective in writing the book?
My objective was to get my story out there on how I love music. So the poetry is a little bit mixed with a little bit of, regular poetry, rap, a little bit of it's unique. And I've always loved music. It's been my therapy through my tough times in my heart, because everybody can get away through music. And so my main thing was that, to be unique, and not everybody is on the same level as that reads the book will probably relate. But the people that do will understand. And like I said, my objective in life today is, I'm all about breast cancer awareness, the youth, and helping other people realize that, life is what you make it. Start making it better.
Mm-hmm. Finally Alive is the name of the book. The author is Joshua Frindley. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, man. I love the privilege.
Yeah, you bet. We enjoyed it. By the way, you can learn more about it. I would put in Finally Alive in a Google search, but you could also do Outskirts, that's plural, outskirtspress.com/Finally Alive. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.